Hey, what's up everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I made 2 Laker videos and forgot to mention information that came my way. I'm pretty sure most Laker Nation already knows this, but I'm going to update you anyway just in case. Christian Wood is targeting the 25th, which is game 3. That game's at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 o'clock Eastern, to come back. That is what's happening. Game 3. He wants to come back then. The first home game in the series. Hopefully we're not down 0-2 by then. And hopefully our coach can work him back into the equation in a responsible way. And it's tough on Darvin Ham because he's a new coach. I mean, at the end of the day, he's only been in this thing for 2 years. But this is a significant concern for me as a fan with him. Is can he incorporate players who've been out responsibly? The answer hasn't been yes. Now, when after they work about 2 or 3, 4 games or so back into his system, coming back from injury, the system allows for them to look pretty good, but sometimes he just kind of throws them back in there. Sometimes he throws them in there with bad rotations, so they suffer. He's infamous for this. So in a playoff situation, when we have to shake our lineup a little more to try to work somebody back in, I get nervous. Now, if the coach didn't have this as a deficiency, I would be fine. But this is a problem, and it's been a problem the entire time. So we need Christian Wood's length. We need his ability to stretch the floor. We need his rebounding. Most definitely need his rebounding. And I think that he is a piece that can turn the tide on the series entirely if, for some magical reason, he comes back his best self. If Christian Wood comes back his best self, he could practically help solve the biggest problem the Lakers have, which is how can we match up with Aaron Gordon while still maintaining our offensive efficiency. And if we had Vando back, that would help even more. Now, why did I single out Aaron Gordon? Because Porter is a handful on the boards. Jokic is obviously a handful on the boards. But when you have Gordon out there with those two, it's practically impossible for this unit to size up with them. And it is because of it they get second and third opportunities, for which they always capitalize on because they barely miss. So we need to cut down on their possessions entirely, and a huge part of that for us is rebounding while those three are on the floor. So I think when you start talking about matching up with Denver, Christian Wood and Vincent are pieces that we brought in to do that. And now that we're facing Denver, there you can see where that was the vision for how you match up with Denver. Vincent for the pound attack defense on Murray, and Wood for the double lengthy front court with the ability to kind of swap out Bron and Rui and leave us with a big lineup at all times. Vando, you should always have someone out there that can do it. Jackson Hayes. With all of those guys back, suddenly we get significantly more likely to match up with Denver. But because we've been missing just the right pieces, it still appears that we didn't address that. So I want to give Rob Pelinka some credit to say those pieces were brought in to do that, and they just haven't been available all year long. And so you never actually got the idea that you addressed the problem when he actually did. So hopefully with Christian Wood coming back in game 3, and I'm really hopeful the Lakers can get the split, winning game 2 somehow. We can come back and really do something. Now, psychologically, I think the Denver Nuggets are a very strong team. But I wonder if there is anything to be said, anything at all, for the negative effect of the Denver Nuggets winning game 1 in the way that they did, in a sense that you automatically assume that the rest of the series is going to go that way. Just like I'm worried about the Lakers automatically assuming the rest of the series can go that way, so too would I wonder if there's any concern at all from the Denver side of things that they are going to start getting a little too comfortable against a Laker team that in the first half they had no success in stopping. If AD and Braun plays like they did in the first half in every game, we're going to have leads in every game. And we've had leads in every game. So while the Lakers haven't figured out their second half problem, which I think a lot of it has to do with what it is we're describing, which is people believing something's going to go a certain way and therefore they waltz themselves into that rather than doing what they should do to overcome that for which is always happening. Instead, they just play into its hands because they believe it, and as you believe it, you make it happen. And so we kind of will ourselves into doing things the wrong way in the second half, assuming that we're going to lose. And I think that's what we saw a lot of yesterday. Stop running plays in the second half. Stop, matching up in a way that helped us in the first half. And I just wonder if the psychological part of it on the Denver side can play in the Lakers' favor in some way by us finally figuring it out and them expecting us not to. It could be tricky. But at the same time, I just look at the Denver Nuggets as a team that, they've won the championship. They know what it takes to get back to where they want to be. And we're having a hard time reaching that level that we're trying to get to. So if anything, I'm more worried about us than I would ever be worried about them in any way. But at the same time, if you're on the Denver side, you don't want to get so comfortable that you let your guard down just the right way for the Lakers to finally overcome this issue and then make a series out of this while you're just assuming it's going to go the same way that it has. So I think the Lakers have to prove that there's any merit to them figuring this out. Obviously, after 9 straight times that it's happening, there's no evidence of that. But as I sit here right now, I look at the matchups becoming a little more favorable to the Lakers. As Wood returns to this series. And hopefully, if the Lakers can just get out of their own way and will themselves into a space where they're doing things the right way all 48 minutes, maybe we can find a way to steal a game in this series and change the tide on how we view ourselves and what needs to happen going forward. So, or how we should approach what's inevitably going to happen if we as we continue to see this team. So that's really what it is, man. I want Christian Wood back on the floor. I'm very excited about his return, even though I don't trust Darvin Ham to get him back on the court in a responsible way. Nevertheless, we're going to need his length with AD, and they play very well together, as we saw before Wood got hurt. They look great together. Darvin Ham is reluctant to play Wood in certain situations, but I think if he would have played him, we probably would have had more wins accredited to us, because it just makes us more significantly long out there and capable of rebounding the ball against anybody. And I really think rebounding leads to a lot of success on a basketball floor. A lot of times people worry about other aspects of the game, which I think are extremely important, like screen navigation and pick and roll and all of that. But I look at those things as it pertains to basketball as point A to point B paths, but not necessarily what truly affects what wins and losses are. You're trying to get a good shot off. You're trying to confuse the other team. So you're going to run different configurations of plays inside of the court so that you can get the shots off that you're looking for. But I think the game, as we focus on those different things, I think the game is so much simpler than that as it pertains to I just need to get shots up, and I just need to control the boards, and I just need to get back and shut off possessions of the other team. How we get from point A to point D, how people maneuver from one spot to the next, a lot of that stuff it matters, and it definitely needs to be considered. But if you're bleeding boards and it's a layup line on the other end, you can do all of those little X's and those things and still brick a shot, and it still leads to another possession on the other side, a transition bucket, etc. A lot of what I did down there when I was figuring how to learn the game and things like that through the video game or what have you, a lot of that I didn't really focus too much on point A to point B things. I was more so focusing on getting into the paint, getting easy buckets, getting you in foul trouble, thus getting you off the floor. I didn't really have too much trouble with configurations because my intention was to always remove the best players from the floor, get them in foul trouble, draw fouls, and get them out of here. And so that's really what it is. If I'm going up against something I have a hard time with, I'm getting it off the floor. If a player like Jokic can outthink me and I'm not worrying about him, bro. I'm going to let him do whatever he wants to do on the offensive end, as we've been talking about a lot. And then on the other side, I'm going to make him play defense. And in turn, I'm going to be physical and force him to foul me by being aggressive and driving at the rim repeatedly on him. And if the referees don't call it, I got to live with that because that's a product of searching out fouls. And so I already have it in my mind that half of the effort I'm going to put in may not necessarily get called. But the intention is to drive at him and get him in foul trouble somehow. And in doing so, I don't have to worry about all that smart stuff he's doing. All that smart stuff doesn't matter because he's coming off the floor. You understand what I'm saying? And all the advantages he has, he's going to have to figure out how to make them advantages a real thing from the bench because he's not going to be out there. So that's how I equate what's necessary. I'm always going to give myself enough size to rebound. If I have to give up certain X's and those things, maybe we don't get around the screen quick enough. As long as we're in the paint with the rim protector ready to be vertical, they come into the rim, we're going to stop them. If they're shooting long shots, if they're not the Golden State Warriors or the old Dallas Mavericks, then we will take the long range shot. We'll put a hand up, but we won't foul. Because the intention is to control your fouls and force them into fouls. And if you win that battle and you win the rebounding battle, then it's about getting quality possessions. That's it. It's just about getting good shots up. And anytime I take a bad shot or out of rhythm shot, or I'm not looking to draw some type of foul, then I have betrayed all of those X's and those things any damn way. If I'm running all types of screens only for me to get the ball to a non-shooter in the corner and shoot a three, if I'm working the ball around and doing all types of stuff and the best shot I get is a corner three-point shot to Cam Reddish, I ain't failed any damn way. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not a quality shot because he ain't gonna make the shot. And that's how I felt about the Lakers offense in the third quarter yesterday. We were doing all types of stuff only to find ourselves shooting threes with AD. AD's like a 30% three-point shooter. How the hell do I want that? I don't need that. I need to be running entirely different configurations that get me different quality shots. Rui Hachimura mid-range shot is a higher percentage shot. Rui in the paint is a higher percentage shot, and you're likely going to get the foul because he's going to go up strong. Braun driving at the rim is going to get me a better look because he's going to go up strong. Austin Reeves driving at the rim and doing his little move where he shoots a jumper and gets fouled is a higher percentage shot. Why am I not spamming that more in the third quarter? Instead, I'm working the ball around, doing all this work on the defensive end, trying to match up on the defensive end, only to come down and take a small, lower percentage shot that doesn't garner any foul trouble for the other team. I mean, you know, people try to work so hard to work on the point A to point B stuff that they forget the meat and potatoes of what it is that they're trying to do. The ball goes up, you want to be taller so you can get to it quicker than anybody else. So you put size on the floor, you rebound the damn ball, you get people in foul trouble so the best players are off the floor, and you get quality shots by working the ball around and finding ways to draw fouls in your shooting. If something's working, work it more. And if they figure it out, do something different. But I think people just try too hard to play the right way when the game is ever evolving, but certain things that never change is rebound the ball, easy buckets in the paint, get people in foul trouble to get them smart players off the floor, go to what works and do it a lot until someone figures out how to stop it. While you're being super smart, I'm staying true to those principles, and I'm going to be in a close game with you because every possession is going to count for me. And every time you come on the other side, you're going to have your players because you're going to be in foul trouble. Unless you want to toy with that. And you know, play a guy when he has 4 fouls in the third quarter if you want to. But I promise you, if you keep the game simple, the game will be good to you. The basketball gods love when you play simple. You know what I mean? You manage not to foul while forcing someone else to. That's what I love about our team. We don't foul and get fouled more than everybody else. But I, even with that identity, feel that we don't do it enough. We don't do it enough. And sometimes we get too cute with the point A to point B stuff. Or not cute enough in some cases, for which the experts will point out. But whatever the case may be, I'm keeping it very simple. I'm controlling them damn boards. And I'm getting the other team in foul trouble. I'm staying out of foul trouble even if it gives up concession buckets. So be it. Staying out of foul trouble. My objective, stay out of foul trouble. If it gives up a point or two, I'll get it back on the other side because I'm going to make sure I take a quality shot. And I'm getting to the line. So it's like defense is important, but only as important as you neglecting certain things that I just said about the offensive end. I really think the offensive end, the more I grow in understanding the game, the more my philosophy leans into offense. Because defense can only contest certain things. You run into a super player like Joker or Kobe or something like that, your defense ain't there, bro. They don't even see you. You're not even there. You could do all types of stuff, run all type of zones. If they as smart as Jokic is, smart as Tim Duncan, smart as Bron, they're going to pick that crap apart, and it ain't even happening. You need to make them work in the areas that they're weak. And in some of these cases, depending on the player, it's the defensive side. Not you stopping them, but them stopping you. So that's what we've been talking about for the last couple of days, especially today. That's really been on my mind, and it's still on my mind right now. It's about philosophy and what you prioritize and what you're spending your time studying. If we're trying to figure out how to stop something that can't be stopped, believe me, man, the only thing we're stopping is our chance of winning. So I encourage everybody to check out the last rant I made. That's pretty much what it was about. And I just wanted to second that thought here as I finish this video. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching, and I'm out.